Mrs. Prepon, you cannot be part of this church any longer. What? No, you can't do this. I've been part of this church for the past 25 years. I've maintained all the rules and regulations. You've broken the most holy law. No, you're misunderstanding. It was an accident. Mrs. Prepon, you are not welcomed here. That's my mother-in-law, Elaine Prepon. And yes, I'm the one who did this to her. But in my defense, she totally deserved it. But I wasn't always like this. It all started about 5 years ago. Back then, I was a different person. I was someone that didn't say no to anyone or anything. I was always kind and considerate. And as a consequence, I had a lot of people take advantage of me. After a toxic relationship with my ex-husband, I decided to leave him to raise our son Liam on my own. Liam was 4 years old, and being a single mother was very difficult. I was working an office job for long hours, and it was a very tough time for me. Sometimes I felt like giving up. I felt so alone. But in all this, I met Matthew. He came into my life and changed everything. Despite knowing about my past and my son, he accepted me, and we fell in love. Our relationship progressed quite fast, and in a matter of months, we decided to get married. And that was when I met his mother, Elaine. Matthew had brought Liam and I for a family dinner. And it was when Elaine found out about our relationship, she became all upset and stormed off from the table. Have you gone mad, Matthew? You brought home a woman like her? Mother, she's a nice girl, and above all, she really loves me. For heaven's sake, Matthew, she has a child from another man. Mother, we all make bad decisions, and we suffer for that. So did Larissa, but that doesn't mean she doesn't deserve to be happy. Then if you want to do this charity to her, then why don't you make her your second wife? Mother, you know I'm not into your church stuff. I'm not keeping 2 wives at the same time. And I'm going to marry Larissa, whether you like it or not. She's pregnant with my child. What? She's pregnant? That's how she baited you? No, I love her, and I want this child. Fine. At least don't belittle me in the society like this. Get married at the church. Larissa, where are you going? Matthew, I think I should leave. You heard everything, didn't you? My mother is a little like that, but she's accepted us. She only wants us to get married in church, as I'm her only child, and she has a lot of respect at the church she goes to. She's part of the hierarchy. Oh, alright. Absolutely. That's no problem. You see, I always saw the best in people, but the reality is, sometimes people stoop to their lowest. Matthew, before the marriage, I would like Larissa to sign these. What is this? It's just a prenup. In case of a divorce, Larissa will not be able to claim any of your money or property. This isn't necessary, Mother. No, it's alright. I'll sign it. I went along with it and signed her agreement, so long as it rid her suspicions of me. Mrs. Prepon, since the wedding's going to be held at the church, are there any other protocols I should know of? Oh, please, don't mess up anything more. Just wear the clothes I'll send you and show up. We have to get this over with before that belly starts to show. What are the church members going to think? A week later, she came to me with my wedding dress. And when I opened the box, I was surprised to see a black dress. Why is this black? Isn't the wedding dress supposed to be white? Of course, it would have been, but it's tradition of our church that divorcees, widows, or women who have lost purity or conceived a child wear black on their wedding. I didn't argue with her, but of course, numerous questions arose. Talking to Matthew, I found out Mrs. Prepon attended a very strange church, which had many strange rules and regulations, some of which were: all members must believe in the supreme alien and shall not resist when they come to rule. All members must not swim or try to fly because men are not ducks and were not created to swim or fly. Men are created for walking and running. However, using boats and planes are permitted for transportation purposes. All members must practice abstinence till marriage, and all men must have at least 2 wives to be free from being vulnerable towards one woman. All members must only eat vegetables, as animals are not food. All women must not wear pants, because pants are for men. The day of our wedding, Matthew and I arrived at church to find the members having some sort of seminar, playing videos. What is this, Matthew? Don't ask. Every week the church members gather and share their evidences and proofs of witnessing extraterrestrial life, and then they go on with the ceremonies. It was after a long seminar that everyone started preparing for the wedding ceremony. That day, I stood wearing a black dress, while every other person, even Elaine, was wearing white. Oh, black dress. She's pregnant. She also has another child. Wow, he's going to regret this. Needless to say, the happiest day of my life turned out to be the most pathetic. Do you, Larissa Adams, accept Matthew Prepon as your husband? I do. Of course you do. Do you, Matthew Prepon, accept Larissa Adams as your wife? I do. Are you sure? Excuse me? You still have a chance, my son. Think this through. What? Yes, I'm sure. All right, I now pronounce you husband and wife. My wedding wasn't a matrimony ceremony, it was a public humiliation. But what I didn't know was that it was only the beginning. Matthew had always been very close to Liam, and after our marriage, he officially adopted him. And 7 months later, I gave birth to our son, Mark. We hosted a party and invited relatives and friends, but of course, Elaine showed up with a scowl on her face. Now that I've neared my old age, it's time I write up my will. And according to the traditions and beliefs, our heredity property can only be inherited by blood. So, I've left behind the house and your father's possessions to Mark. Are you going to give everything to only one of your grandsons? Don't be ridiculous, Matthew. You might be able to accept her and her love child, but Liam will never be part of this family. He's not my grandson. I couldn't understand how someone could feel so negatively towards a child. But over the years, as Liam and Mark grew up, Elaine visited quite often with gifts and presents, but they were all for Mark. She never paid Liam any attention or gave him any love. Grandma, you're here! Mark, look what I got you. Binoculars, cool. Now you can see the aliens. Can I see Mark? No, go play somewhere else. But I want to play with my brother. He's not your brother. Go find your real dad and your other brothers. A woman is an oven, and you are the bun of someone else. And Mark is the bun of my son. Now shoo from here. Mom, are you an oven? Your grandma was just playing with you. But I knew what Elaine was doing. She treated my boys so differently. And over time, I realized she was influencing Mark to think the same way. Mark, let's go play. I don't want to play with you. You're not my real brother. When I saw Mark push away his own brother, that day I realized if I wanted peace in this family, the only way was through that church. Matthew, I became a member at the church today. What? Are you crazy? Come on, they might be a little eccentric, but they're alright. You know they have issues. Serious duck issues. That weekend, I took the boys and went to Elaine's to let her know. But after arriving, she became occupied with Mark and didn't even give me or Liam a second look. Mom, look, a family album. Oh wow, here's your dad and your grandma. Grandma, I'm hungry. What do you want to have? Pizza. Alright, let's order a nice big veggie pizza. Within a while, the delivery came, and I got the pizza and served the table. But Elaine simply started eating with Mark without offering me or Liam any. What's this? It tastes pretty good. Hold on a minute. Mom, that looks like meat. You ate meat. What? Elaine started spitting the food out before she looked at Larissa helplessly. Please, don't tell anyone. Don't worry, it was an accident. Just wait and see. I'll have this pizzeria shut down. I was a bit surprised by how serious and anxious Elaine had gotten about it. She didn't want the word to get out at all. But it was the next weekend, when we had all gone to a church gathering, that something unexpected happened. Grandma, try this. It tastes like the beef pizza you ordered that day. Can we order it again? I love beef pizza. What? Mrs. Prepon, you had meat? It was a mistake. I don't know how the pizzeria got the wrong order. I threw it away as soon as I realized. Oh, I see. It was the first time I had seen Elaine look genuinely frightened. But the church members had excused her. To patch things up and also to take a break from the city life, the next weekend, Matthew invited Elaine to join us on a small fishing trip. Your grandpops used to take your dad out fishing all the time. Elaine had been looking after Mark, and Liam and I were recording some videos. It was some time into sailing, however, that I heard a loud splash on the other side. Mark fell into the water. As I called for Matthew, Elaine took off her sweater in a rush and jumped in to save Mark. Hold my hand, Mark. It's alright, Grandma, I got it. What? You know how to swim? Yeah. Who taught you? Dad. When Elaine found out Matthew had been training Mark to swim, she got furious. You taught Mark how to swim? You know we aren't supposed to swim, we're not ducks. Mom, then why did you jump? Before she got all insecure again. Don't tell anyone about today. Especially you, mister. You have one big mouth. All right, Grandma, lips sealed. However, this time, although Mark was quiet, secrets had their ways of coming out. On our weekly seminar the next Saturday, I had brought in a special cassette recording of a UFO spotting. As you can see, it's clear that the 2 UFOs landed here, as I was explaining the footage. Suddenly, the cassette malfunctioned and footage from our fishing trip began to play. Mark fell into the water. Hold my hand, Mark. Instantly, the church members turned to Elaine. Mrs. Prepon, what have you done? You swam like a duck. You cannot be part of this church any longer. What? No, you can't do this. I've been part of this church for the past 25 years. You've broken the most holy law. You're misunderstanding. It was an accident. You've been exposed, Elaine Prepon. You have followed the ways of the ducks. It was an emergency. I'm not a duck. I'm not a duck. You've given up on your faith for the life of your grandson. Red in anger, Elaine started shouting at me. You did this to me. No, you did this to yourself. As long as things were only between Elaine and I tried to overlook our differences. But when Elaine started to break apart my 2 sons, I had enough. If she couldn't accept Liam as part of this family, she didn't need to be part of my family. So I started planning of a way to get rid of her. And the only way that was possible was through the church. The first thing I did after becoming a member was to read the big book of laws that I used to my advantage. Mark, when Grandma asks you what you want to eat, say pizza. That day, when I went to Elaine's, I had brought ground meat with me and sprinkled it onto the pizza before I served them. And before the church gathering, I reminded Mark of the incident. And as I expected, he mentioned it at the dinner. However, the church members had excused her, so I had to think of something big. The day I had gone to visit Elaine, I had seen some old pictures of her. Oh, so she knows how to swim. Matthew had been teaching Mark how to swim, so I wasn't so worried for him as much as I was to get the scene recorded. Jump from the boat, but pretend as if you're drowning until Grandma jumps in to save you, okay? Got it. And alas, to conveniently show it to the members, I had Matthew help me make a UFO video. Matthew, hold the string still. All right. And today, intentionally brought the altered cassette to expose Elaine and have her kicked out. Sorry, Mrs. Prepon. As member of the church, according to the laws, ex-members cannot be part of the family of current members. You won't get away with this. No, you can't send me out. I'm not a duck. Trust me, I'm not a duck.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.